So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, as we can see, to everyone. My name is Eric Tomaszewski. I'm the managing director of Itoma Lux, and we actually build property brands using our property technology combined with targeted PR, public relations, marketing, and advertising for off-plan and on-plan sales. And this webinar is going to be covering exactly the subject of a sample property deals that we are sourcing from our network. So from property developers to whom we serve on the off-plan property market. And let's say taking it from there, we're going to go into two specific types of property deals. But first things first, obviously the introduction and housekeeping. So you can see our team on the screen, and we're going to have a short introduction from everyone as we go along. But first things first, the housekeeping. We've got an opportunity here to introduce yourself, although I think we know everyone here, so there's a chat. And then eventually there's also an option for Q&A, which we will eventually cover at the very end of this webinar. So you've got this triangle, square, circle sign basically at the top right corner, and then you can see Q&A, and we're gonna try to answer any sort of questions that might come along. So that's the housekeeping, and again, at the very end, you can unmute yourself and we can have actually the chat. So first things first, the agenda for today. We're gonna start with the introduction of our team, because again, the whole Itoma team, as you could see on the second slide, is already here. So we're gonna say who is doing what and where. Secondly, we're gonna go into details. What are guaranteed rental yield deals? And why are they very beneficial to investors, as well as what are the good payment plans deals? So what's the cash flow game in there? Then we're gonna move to three selected deals that we have handpicked that are available to the investors exactly with this strategy that we presented in the previous points. Then we're gonna move, let's say, and present a bit more about our business and USPs, and we're gonna finish with the Q&A. So you will have an opportunity to unmute yourself, eventually ask a couple of questions, and take it from there. First things first, though, who am I and why do I dare to speak and present to you today? So, my name is Eric Tomaszewski. I'm the managing director of Itoma, and actually, I follow the usual career path from the big corpo to, let's say, the early stage business to own business specializing in a particular niche. And in 2017, after hitting sort of a glass ceiling, I started Itoma. And we actually started as a business called Itoma 3D Tech, which you can see on this slide. We started 3D printing pictures of people in full color. So here you can see me, an actual, let's say, 3D printed picture of myself. But as you go along, you can see different, let's say, connections in the business world that can be leveraged. So this way we found that actually real estate and construction are some of the least digitized industries in the world. And this way, we decided to actually focus exactly initially on 3D printing the maquettes of the properties, which you can see exactly here now on the screen. So that was the first step. But that was again a physical product that wasn't exactly, let's say, fit for the digital age. So it involved shipping and so on. So without further ado, let's say we're going to obviously show you something that we do in the digital space, but this webinar needs to focus on the specific property deals, and that's what we're going to present to you today. Now, let's start with the introduction of the team, because it's a team game. So again, myself, I cover Europe and Middle East. I speak a couple of European languages that I picked up during the couple of voyages for the previous businesses. So you can speak with me eventually in English, obviously, Spanish, Polish, Russian, and German. So again, let's take it from there, and that's why I cover exactly this region, together with Carl, who is covering UK and North America. Carl, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thanks very much, Eric. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone on the call. Basically, yeah, I am the UK and North America sales manager. I have been in basically building in project management for building, commercial building for about 20 years, and I found Eric and Itoma for something I was looking to work on, and I loved it so much that I actually wanted to join and do some work with Eric. So here I am. So anything UK, North America, and English, although apparently my English isn't the best English. Yeah, so give me a shout. My details are on there. I'll pass it over to Jonathan in Nigeria.
Thank you, Carl. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone that is joining us today again. My name is Jonathan Carlo. I am the manager representing Itoma Lux in Africa. I'm based in Nigeria. I have got some industry-wide experience spanning over a decade and a half in construction, ICT, business development, research, and policy. And so if you have got any interest in what we are doing and you want to talk to us, please get in touch with me and then we will take the discussion further from here. Thank you. I pass to my colleague, Daria.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. So good evening to all of you. As you all know, first of all, I do namaste to all of you. Hope you are having a wonderful day and we are here to try to make it a bit better. And thank you all for joining the webinar. I am Dhairya Patel. I'm a BITS Pilani pass out and have an expertise in business development since then. And I'm looking after Asian and Australian market for Itoma Lux. So if you have any queries from the mentioned region, I'm aware. Thank you. I will like to call Eric for the further presentation. Eric, please.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for this introduction. So again, we've got a team that is covering practically all of the continents and many, many languages to eventually take it from there. We want to build a global, scalable organization, and that's why we focus exactly on the deals in the specific territories. So, taking it from there, if you can move to the next slide. So now we obviously know any webinar, any sort of presentation needs to look at the specific customer problems. In this case, obviously that's investor presentation. And please put, let's say, any sort of problems that you might be finding from your investors or as an investor in the chat or Q&A, and we will try to, let's say, cover that exactly during this webinar. So taking it from there, let's say the first problem that we are covering is low due diligence. So that means obviously checking any sort of deals, and instead of simply connecting, let's say, a property with the investor, it's also about looking, let's say, into some nitty-gritty things to make sure that the deal is gonna come through. Second thing is little focus on financial side. So again, our answer here is financial modeling, to which we're gonna come during this presentation to eventually present you what we are doing to address this particular problem in property. And then the third and final thing that we will be focusing here today, which is obviously on everyone's mind, is lockdown. So either no or at least limited property viewings. And that's exactly where the technology, which is the other pillar of our strategy, comes handy. So now moving on, that's exactly, our strategy. So obviously I mentioned the property technology, on which I'm gonna mention, let's say, somewhere towards the end, what we are doing and how we help in the property value chain. But today we want to focus specifically on two different property types, deals types. One of them is guaranteed rental yield. And again, we're gonna present in a second what this is, what does it involve, and what are the benefits eventually for the investors. And the second one are monthly payment plans. And again, we're gonna look what are the benefits, how can you leverage your money and the cash flow. So, what are the guaranteed rental yield deals? So here we've got, let's say, hands of income, and that's basically the starting point. So there is no management company, no other party. You simply buy the deal directly from the property developer, and you get hands of income, which is guaranteed contractually basically for a number of years, which means that basically you've got this legal protection, and the legal side is incorporated in the contract, which means stability and no surprises for you as the potential investor in one of these deals. Now, the final thing that obviously helps manage the risk are multiple exit options. And that means that basically you've got different avenues that you can follow depending on the situation on the market, whether you want to continue generating income or whether you want to somehow exit the deal altogether. Moving on, so obviously that's the first type of the deals. The second one are good payment plans deals. Now, what are they? So here we've got 30 to 40% paid before handover from the property developer to the buyer. And that's basically the starting point where you can start renting the property, which means that you've got the income to eventually cover the remaining 60 to 70% that is usually paid off in a month on a monthly basis of 1%. And obviously there are different types. It could be every 6 months, but again, there is some well spread in time payment plan that can help you start generating income and then pay off, let's say, the remaining cash or equity in the property as you go along. So now on the next slide, we can look, let's say, at the detail of that. How does it really look? So here we've got, let's say, for a customer that inquired with us in October last year, with the handover in March 2022. Okay, so that's basically the starting point. This deal is 40-60. So 40% before handover, and here you've got the payment plan. How much do I need to pay every single month? So down payment of 10% and then mostly 1% every single month. And then exactly the same post handover, so 60% paid off, 1% every month, while the investor already started generating so necessary cash flow. And that's exactly how we leverage the money, because of 40%, obviously, that's then your investment is basically covered by the ongoing current rental income. And that's our starting point. And now, basically, these are the two main types of deals. Now I'd like to invite Jonathan to present to us, let's say, a bit about our due diligence and the vetting process. Jonathan, up to you, please.
Thank you, Eric. We serve you a plate full of insight and focus as what distinguishes us from all others. In the deals that we bring to you, we conduct due diligence that ordinarily will ensure that over 50 checkpoints are covered in your attempt to invest in property deals that we are bringing to you. You can remember that my colleague Eric has told us about the problems that we are looking at solving. One, due diligence, low due diligence, little focus on financial side, and then lockdown. So all of these are mitigated by the insight and focus that we bring inside everything surrounding the property, and then getting you to understand this is what you need to do as at when due. Now, the covering of our due diligence the covering of over 50 checkpoints will include local regulations and taxes that are involved in the specific countries you may have chosen to invest in. Then taking you through the return on investment on your purchase plan options or the property that you have decided to invest in. And then we take you through to the finishing line, which will bring to you insight about every and any other kind of payment that you will really need to commit money to. So all of these we do in a manner that is very swift, a manner that is very robust, a manner that the insight is something that nowhere else would you get this. It's added advantage that will bring to you, and we want to always keep ourselves open for any kind of discussion that you would simply need to trigger the investment process altogether. Thank you. I'll take you back to Eric.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan. So again, really the unique selling point is the insight and building, let's say, certain type of deal flow. And here exactly what we're gonna see on the screen is an example deal, how we present it to you as a potential investor. So we've got, let's say, something like an overview, what the investment is about. Then we've got, let's say, the payment plan as well as the return. And that's how we present this sort of deals to the potential investors to eventually take it to the next level. And that's basically the first thing. So we checked already a number of touch points for you to make the right decision. Second thing, because again, property investment is obviously the financial decision. So on the next slide, we can see exactly an example of two different property deals. Carl, if you can move to the next slide. So here we've got basically, the same property, but two different financial models to help you make the right decision, how you want to proceed. And again, this sort of information is discussed at the one-to-one meeting, let's say, between our representative and you as the potential investor to take it eventually to the next level and leverage, let's say, your money to be able, let's say, to generate as much, let's say, equity as well as cash flow as possible and balance them. And that's exactly what we believe makes us different with this insight and focus. And I would like to actually start, let's say, presenting the first deals. So Carl, I would like to invite you to the stage. And can you tell us something about, let's say, deal number 1 and deal number 2 from today?
Perfect. Thanks, Eric. Yes, so as mentioned before, GRY is a guaranteed rental yield. So we've chosen a couple of projects which just represent these two, for instance. So this is the first one, a commercial building in Cyprus. It's in the capital, Limassol, so it's a prime location. And here's obviously the building you see there. It's a large building over a number of floors, and part of that building is fully serviced with furnished office spaces. So handover for this one will be June this year, so that's coming up now, but it's buying the unit freehold, the entire building itself. And they are offering, the developers are offering a contractual 10-year lease with an option to break at 5 years. So again, they will rent that out for you, and they will guarantee 4.5% income on your investment and over that 10 years. So again, after that 10 years, they will most likely either continue that rental, or you can take it back, rent it anywhere else, or you can do whatever you like with the building from there. You can have it as a massive, great holiday home in Cyprus, or whatever you want to do. So it's a perfect opportunity, and it shows you exactly what you're getting back over that 10-year period guarantee, plus obviously capital gains as well. On to the next one. GPP, as we mentioned, is a good payment plan, or a great payment plan for some of these. I've put together these from a company called Danube. Danube basically is a developer with a number of developments over Dubai, around Dubai, in the international city. And again, you can see a couple of options on the right-hand side of different buildings. And I will go into a bit more detail in a couple of them very specifically. But just as a general overview, Danube would voted the most affordable apartments in Dubai. And the reason for that actually is Danube started out as they were like a wholesaler and manufacturer of building materials. So they actually decided to use their own kind of internal company to build their own buildings and obviously save quite a lot of money in the process. Which is why it's become one of the most affordable in the area. Again, handovers anything between now and Q1 in 2022, and they're always planning new developments, so that will continue onwards. Rental income on these is not guaranteed, so it's not a GRP plan, a GRY plan even, but it's basically done on, they will help you find someone to rent that for you, and they do that for free as part of your kind of purchasing money. They will help you find a renter. But again, you can do it privately or go and live in it, whatever you want to do. So basically they do the payment plan system. So I know Eric just a few minutes ago showed us a couple of options on those. These ones actually run on 40/60, so again 40 up front and then 60 single months. Or if you've got the free cash going, you can do the entire amount up front, and you'll get quite a good discount on those actually, so it definitely makes it worth doing. And just to mention there as well, which Eric will mention a bit more, is the escrow to the Dubai land development to about 40% before handover, but he'll go into that in a minute. Actually, I think maybe Daria might go into that actually in a minute, I think. Anyway, let's go into these specifically. This is a Jules. This is a particular apartment block in Dubai, in the Arjan region. They are really quite affordable. 2 beds from sort of 300,000, 1 bed 230,000 US dollars. And as you can see, the expected return on income on these or an investment is sort of 13%. So over the 1% a month. So effectively, you'd be looking at free property after 5 years, or certainly without the deposit. And again, all these sites they produce have got all the amenities: swimming pools, health clubs, tennis courts, that kind of thing. So they're all there for you. And the next one is one of their larger developments, 741 apartments. Again, for example, 2 bed, a little bit more affordable, just under $200,000. 1 bed, $144,000. But slightly higher return on investment. That's obviously they're a lower price. So there. And again, same on the same 40-60 plan, or all up front. And again, swimming pools. There's a little cool water canal on this one at the bottom you can see, which is really nice. Obviously, water's a big thing in Dubai. But yeah, absolutely freehold property. These just, really make sense. And for that money, to have something out there, and obviously Dubai is one of the best places in the country right now. But this is back to Eric to discuss one of the hotel apartment options.
Well, thank you very much, Carl. So again, until now, we've seen obviously 2 different types of deals: guaranteed rental yield and good payment plans. And again, that's exactly the type of deals that we are focusing on. Now, for the final deal of the day, basically we want you to focus on the combination of both. So what we've got here is a 5-star hotel apartments in Dubai. So it's a service accommodation in so-called Dubai City of Wonders, where there is going to be, let's say, different types of wonders from current and past ages, like exactly pyramids, Big Ben, and so on. Think about it, let's say, as city within the city. So what we've got here are 5-star hotel rooms sold on a room-by-room basis. The project is going to be handover in Q1 of 2022, and that's exactly when this is going to start eventually generate income. So taking it from there, what we've got here is contractual 12 years deal of, let's say, rental yield with 8% net return, which means, let's say, from a very simple calculation, 12 years times 8% a year, that gives you at least 96% of the value of the property paid back during this guaranteed rental yield period. Okay, and that's basically the starting point. Let's say that's what we believe is currently the best deal on the market. Second thing, how is it guaranteed? So basically this property is going to be actually managed by the company called Oakwood, which is a global player in the service accommodation market. So again, this is the management side being covered here and ticked off eventually to take it to the next level. The third thing, let's say, that we want to point here is you've got 2 options for the payment plan. One is 55% pre-handover, 45% post-handover over 3 years payment plan. So again, you start generating income post-handover, and this reduce this 45% remaining payment over 3 years. That's basically the next point. Or the second option is a discount if you decide to actually buy it, let's say, upfront before the actual handover, which obviously is going to increase your rental yield. Now, 2 final things I want to mention before we actually move into the insight on the financial plan is, first of all, any properties purchased in Dubai are especially protected by the escrow. So basically you pay to the Dubai Land Department that releases this money to the developer only if the certain milestone on the project construction has been achieved. So your money is protected. It doesn't go directly to the seller. It goes firstly, let's say, to the governmental or municipality organization. Second thing, with this particular deal, on top of, let's say, 8% over 12 years, you also get at least 10 days of free stay in your apartment every year. So that's extra benefit, obviously, for the lifestyle option on top of generating this rental income. And that's why we believe this is a very good deal and probably the best one that is currently on the market if it goes about guaranteed rental yield, in which we specialize. And these are exactly the benefit of guaranteed rental yield plus good payment plan. So now on the next slide, you can see here exactly comparison of two different payment plans. One of them is exactly the one where you pay 55% upfront on the left hand side and then 45% post handover while you start generating income. So that means that your cash flow basically, is much better. But again, on the right hand side, we've got the full bulk payment with a discount of approximately 6 to 8%, which gives you, let's say, extra money to be, let's say, spent away, because you've got this discount that can be eventually taken to the next level and perhaps used, let's say, to buy another property and take it from there. And again, we would like to eventually discuss the details, how we arrived with this financial model, what are the benefits, and so on, at a one-to-one meeting. So then you could understand exactly what we are doing, how we are doing, and what are the options for the multiple exits, let's say, post and before this 12 years, let's say, of guaranteed rental income, because all of these properties that we present here are obviously freehold. So at the end of this guaranteed rental yield, this is your property. So you've got both income plus the equity that you can monetize further down the line. And this would basically finish our third deal for the day. Again, I would like to invite you to one-on-one with me or our team, and then we can take it actually from there. So I would like to pass now to Daria. Daria, can you tell us a bit more about Dubai and Cyprus, please?
Sure. Thank you, Eric. So as Eric said that why did we select deals only from Dubai and Cyprus? So let's start from the big picture. Well, we all know that Dubai is a world-renowned tax haven. That's exactly where the money from all over the world is coming, because they have got nearly 0% taxes on practically anything, on which you can imagine, starting from income tax, corporate tax, capital gains, and inheritance tax, on comparing with the certain other places in the Europe. The only thing here is the stamp duty, which is normal and often waived by the development company, like the certain deals that we presented today. Well, it's waived in the pyramid project that Eric presented before me. Now, obviously do speak with us for the more details that you want on particular property. Well, that's basically the big picture on Dubai. And what is also more interesting is you can get residency quite easily with not so much money in the bank, and also soon to come the citizenship in Dubai and UAE, which provides the benefit of quite strong passport. On top of this, means that you have 0% tax on almost all the taxes. Now let's look on the second side of the equation, that is Cyprus. Well, we call it European Union Property Capital because until November 2020, they had this citizenship program where you make an investment of over 2 million euros and you get the citizenship right away in 6 months. Well, unfortunately, they have halted this program while Dubai program is now starting, so you can take the benefit of the same. And still there are a couple of other options with the Cyprus. Well, I think the biggest interest you will be looking at as a part of number, which is obviously you can cross check with other sources and compare it with UK properties and other European countries, is the inheritance tax. So here we have got 0% inheritance tax in Cyprus, while majority of the other territories in European Union have between 40 to 80%. Well, you can compare this number with European countries. And apart from this, one major benefit, as Eric pointed out, is while investing in Dubai property, your money you invest does not directly go to the property developer. Instead, it goes to the escrow account monitored by the Dubai government and only transferred to the developer once they meet the certain checkpoints and requirements. Well, hope it makes sense, and so we selected these two specific geographies for the moment to source the majority of our deals in accordance with our strategy of guaranteed rental yield and good payment plan. And obviously we'll be very happy to speak with you, organize a demo, look at this number in depth and take it from there. So thank you very much for being patient and listening to me. I'm going to pass now to Eric. Please, Eric.
Well, thank you very much, Daria. So again, we presented three specific types of deals to give you an idea what we could be talking here about. And again, this is exactly in accordance with our strategy. That's basically our starting point. Now, second element of this, hello. Second element of this, Carl, can you move to the next slide, please? Obviously, when you see at property transactions, there are many, let's say, levies, taxes, and duties that are involved, and that's why we focus exactly on these two territories to give you an idea, as Daria has been presenting, let's say, how these particular ones can save you money. But let's finish this presentation exactly what are our USPs, let's say, as a business, and why would you eventually, let's say, would like to speak with us, organize a demo, and look in more depth into these deals. So first of all, on the business side, we prepare this financial modeling exactly as you could see on the previous slides. So that's basically what you get as part of the package to make the well-informed decision. Second thing, we specialize purely in these two types of property deals only, which builds expertise to know what is happening on the market and the brand, so people know basically that they can speak with us exactly for this type of deals. Now, and obviously that's the business side, but we position ourselves as the technology-driven company plus this property deal. So we are A to Z supplier of global remote solutions for the property presentation. And I'm gonna just show you very briefly an example on one of the next slides. From the combination of this business and technology, we build two-side relationships with property developers as well as real estate agents, brokers, and realtors to exactly bring the best deals to the market, to the investors, like during this presentation, especially the pyramid project. We believe that this is one of a kind, and obviously the best thing is to see a bit more during the meeting with us. That would be exactly the big picture and what makes us special as the business that perhaps you'd like to be working with. Now, so obviously we presented to you a couple of deals, but finishing this presentation, a bit of maybe entertainment, something like more relaxed part. So we wanted to show very briefly what is our technology about, just to give you a brief idea what we are doing on the technology side for off-plan and on-plan sales. So on the next slide, basically we can see actual, sets of pictures, and what we've got here is actually real pictures at the bottom of, let's say, real properties taken, using your camera, while at the top, it's basically our visualization, our technology that can help you visualize or, can help property developers and property professionals visualize the property, even 2 years before it has been constructed. And that's exactly what we are bringing to the market on the technology side. Any sort of renders, virtual tours, anything that can be delivered anywhere in the world to help with sales and marketing of the properties. And hopefully that makes sense because we offer this and at the same time we get the access to the best deals on the market from property developers. And our target market exactly here on the next slide are property developers and related industries like consultants and architects for off-plan sales, like the deals we presented to you today. And then on the on-plan sales, that's real estate agents, brokers, and realtors. So again, we've got this possibility to leverage this relationship with this party, speak with them directly, offer them the technology, and at the same time, know what is happening on the market and leverage it. Present them like during this presentation, these property deals that are somewhere there, and we get to know them. And that would, I think, finish our presentation. So thank you very much for listening. Obviously, we are a social company, so you can find us easily as Itoma London, especially on YouTube, where you can see our technology portfolio, as well as LinkedIn, where we post certain types of deals, content, and so on to build this relationship and know what we are after, what we can offer to you as a potential investor. And I think that would basically, covered all of the elements. And obviously, you're going to get the slides from this presentation where you will be able to find, as it is on the next slide, our strategy, our value, basically our solutions, community, and more. So everything is going to be black and white so you can see exactly what we are as a business about to take it from there. And now I'm going to open basically this session for any sort of Q&A. If there is anything you can discuss, you can obviously, unmute yourself, we can speak. And obviously we organize these events a couple of times a month. So the next one is on 16th of March, and that's going to be covering our property technology for property sales. So something that we haven't really touched upon today. Then 23rd of March, we go again into technology, specifically on drones for property. And then 6th of April, we're going to repeat this webinar and actually bring some other property deals that you might find interesting to take it eventually to the next level, because we are active on this market. Things are all the time moving and things are changing as we go along. We've got this access to good things that are happening on the market. So please unmute yourself if you would like to introduce yourself, ask us any questions, let's say. Again, I can see we've got 9 people, so quite cozy chat as a matter of fact. Obviously, always happy to say hello. We are, social and active. And I think you guys, Daria, Jonathan, you can unmute yourself eventually. Let's see if you've got any questions. Obviously, we are happy to answer. We are happy to say hello and organize a demo. And obviously, what is going to be happening, we're going to send you the slides and the recording from this presentation basically within a week, so you can refer to it, you can see what deals we've got, and so on, to take it eventually to the next level. And we are always happy to speak. So thank you very much on behalf of Itoma team. If you can help with anything else, please unmute yourself or say anything on the chat or Q&A. Otherwise, I'm gonna wish you all very good day, very good rest of your day, and we can take it actually from there. Any questions, anything, let's say, that we can help with, please let us know and we can take it from there. So thank you for participating here with us. If you can help, please speak up. Well, on this note, I'm gonna say that I think that we don't have any questions. So again, thank you very much for participating. It's a pleasure, let's say, to be here with you guys. And well, I hope, we can organize some demo one-on-one and speak, let's say, then. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Right, I'm gonna be closing the session. So thank you everyone from outside of Itoma team, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.